This man left his whole family in 1989. Ain't looked back.
She put me out.
She put him out, the government put him out, the dog put him out, somebody put him out, and he never looked back from 1989.
27 days ago, you had him in the hospital saying father of your child.
I didn't tell him to come.
So it does not matter. The point is you allowed it. Brought the pictures for proof.
Right.
To say that what he is contending is not true.
Right.
You intimate with another man. Pregnant.
Yes, I did have intercourse with him 3 times and unprotected that night. I told him about it. He still wanted to be with me.
She lied about it.
Him that we did it protected. I did at the time.
In a shocking twist right at the start, Mr. Hines spills the beans that just 2 weeks ago, he was floored by the revelation that Mr. Hides, the defendant, claims not to be his biological father. Despite this bombshell, Mr. Hines isn't taking it lying down. He's petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Hides really is his dad. Brace yourself, it's about to get even juicier.
Mr. Hines, just 2 weeks ago, you were shocked when the defendant revealed to you that he is not your biological father. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that he is, in fact, your father.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, Mr. Hyde steps up and admits he's over $20,000 in the hole for child support, but he's sticking to his guns, insisting he's always known the truth, that he isn't the plaintiff's biological father. He's betting all his chips on the DNA results, proving him right. Next up, the plot thickens even more.
You say you are currently behind more than $20,000 in child support, but claim to have evidence to prove you've always known the truth, that you are not plaintiff's biological father.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. Mr. Hines takes us back to a jaw-dropping conversation from 2 weeks ago, where out of the blue, his girlfriend drops a bomb about what his aunt supposedly said, throwing a wrench into what he thought he knew about his family tree. This revelation sets him on a path to seek out the truth with a DNA test. The saga continues, and it's more tangled than your earphones after a jog.
As of 2 weeks ago, out of nowhere, he pops out, not even him. His girlfriend pops out and say, "Hey, won't you tell him about what his aunt said?" I look around, what did my aunt say? "Oh, she said you might not be mine."
You're 36 years
Yes,
old,
ma'am.
and 2 weeks ago.
And I'm looking like, huh? Like, so I kind of just blew it off, like, okay, because the conversation or whatever, I didn't think too much of it. It wasn't like, oh, well, this, and this.
And the temperature keeps rising. Amidst an emotionally charged courtroom, Mr. Hines passionately labels Mr. Hides as the true definition of a deadbeat dad, recounting how he walked out on his family way back in 1989 and never looked back. As the accusations fly, you'll want to stick around because what comes next is a doozy.
And this man is the true definition of a deadbeat dad. The true definition. This man left his whole family in 1989. Ain't looked back.
She put me out.
She put him out, the government put him out, the dog put him out, somebody put him out, and he never looked back from 1989. I reached out to him. A lot of people was against me, like, oh, you going to be with this man, whatever, and he left us. No.
Things are really heating up now. In an intense face-off, Mr. Hides and Mr. Hines go head-to-head over the nitty-gritty of financial woes and child support backlogs. Mr. Hides reveals his struggle with Social Security deductions, while Mr. Hines accuses him of trying to dodge his fiscal responsibilities through the court case. The stakes are high, and the next moment is a real cliffhanger.
Now come to find out, child support also coming back to him.
Is this about money? Is it
No,
about
it's not
the
about
money?
no money.
Because you are behind.
Yeah, they take it out of my Social Security check.
They take the money out of your
Social
security. What is that
Security
you're handing me? Ron, will you hand me that evidence, please?
They take it out of my Social Security.
So
I barely got enough.
He say that now, but this man was claiming us on his income tax at the time while he was working.
Switching gears, Mrs. Hines steps into the spotlight to shed light on the roller coaster ride that's been their marriage, complete with accusations and denials of infidelity. She vehemently refutes Mr. Hides' claims and suggests he's twisting facts to suit his agenda. Buckle up, her testimony is just setting the stage for a bombshell revelation.
I ain't seen him in 29 years. All of a sudden, I want a divorce. He tells my son, tell your mom I want a divorce.
No.
Money.
Divorce for money?
What money does he have?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you
I
about
don't have
that.
no money.
He just turned 62, May 4th of this year. In order for me to get any part of that, I would have be 62. He thought I could get part of his Social Security. A wife is entitled to part of the husband's Social Security. He knows it.
Here it comes, the moment we've all been waiting for. The judge finally delivers the DNA test results, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hines, you are the father.
Dang, you didn't cheat on me.
Can you handle this? Miss Ramos is in court to prove that Mr. Edwards is the father of her 1-month-old son, Xavier. She claims that after she announced her pregnancy, women Mr. Edwards was secretly cheating with started denying his paternity. Just wait until you hear Mr. Edwards' side of the story coming up.
You are in court to prove that your ex-fiance, Mr. Ed, fathered your 1-month-old son, Xavier. You claim that after sharing your news that you were pregnant with his baby, women he was cheating with started coming out of woodwork trying to convince him he's not the dad.
Hold the phone, things are heating up. Mr. Edwards firmly denies being the father, suggesting the paternity claim is complicated by changed due dates and Miss Ramos' own infidelities. He hints at a bombshell witness meant to support his case. Strap in, because Miss Ramos is about to drop some truth bombs.
You say there's no way you are the father and claim the plaintiff up her due date to cover up her own infidelities. You say you brought a bombshell witness who will and seal your case.
Did that just happen? Miss Ramos recounts the history and dynamics of her relationship with Mr. Edwards, describing a pattern of cheating and a rocky on and off engagement. This backstory provides context for the paternity dispute. Watch out, the accusations are about to fly.
But then that's when he started doing the cheating from the whole time. You know, I did have sex with an ex of mine, but that was after the fact. Me and him wasn't even actually in a relationship.
Wait a minute.
In the beginning, like...
You all are in a relationship.
It was really not that serious in the beginning. It was just like talking to, you know, and I didn't know it was gonna go on to this point.
So how serious was it when Xavier was conceived?
Oh, that's when it really got serious.
So you all were in a serious relationship?
Yep.
You won't believe this. Mr. Edwards accuses Miss Ramos of sleeping with his relative, though she clarifies it's not a blood relative, but through marriage, leading to a debate about the nature of family and betrayal. Buckle up, because Miss Ramos is about to reveal even more eyebrow-raising details.
You now are informed that she had sex with one of her exes. And this is what leads you to doubt?
And other confessions.
And so at what point do you find out she cheated?
At the beginning, when she was at least like, that's when she had slept with a relative of mine.
I disagree. It's not even a blood relative, first of all. It was all through marriage.
This is a doozy. A dramatic turn occurs as Miss Ramos admits to catching diseases from an ex-partner while Mr. Edwards was away, revealing the depth of their relationship troubles and mutual mistrust. Hold on, because the emotional roller coaster is just getting started.
The relative of mine is the person that she slept with when she was about a month. The story was that she was asleep and he was going in and out of her. That right there was the story that I was told.
Wait a minute. Mr. Edwards testified that you told him you were sleeping and someone had sex with you, but you slept through the entire thing?
No, Ben broke up with that ex in June, a whole month before he even got reunited.
Grab your popcorn. Here's a real tearjerker. Despite doubts about paternity, Mr. Edwards was present at the hospital, showing emotional involvement during Xavier's birth, captured in photographs that suggest a deeper bond. The plot thickens in the next segment, so stay tuned.
I have proof right here, Honor, with him being at the hospital with this big smile on his face. I'd rather that you not come to the hospital than coming to the hospital and playing as this role if you're gonna doubt.
You presented the court with pictures.
Yes, I have.
Beautiful pictures of it looks like a couple's welcome their baby into the world.
Exactly.
You might want to sit down for this one. The judge emphasizes the legal and emotional stakes, noting that if Mr. Edwards is indeed the father, he will have rights and responsibilities, regardless of the relationship status. Up next, Miss Ramos throws a curveball that will leave you stunned.
You've shown up at the hospital for the birth of this baby, taken the father photos. Just go down the line. You've checked every box, applies to father. But after all of this, you say you're not the biological father.
There was just the doubts. It was just the cheating.
Guess what happens next? Amidst the court drama, Miss Ramos reveals she is engaged to someone else and plans to marry soon, adding layers to the already complex personal dynamics. The moment of truth is just around the corner, and it's a biggie.
You know, I'm engaged and get ready to get married next month. He's irrelevant to the case.
Because I don't let you overtalk everybody, but you're not gonna overtalk me. 27 days ago, you had him up in a hospital with his arms on your brand new baby. 27 days ago, you had him in a hospital saying father of your child.
I didn't tell him to come.
So it does not matter. The point is you allowed it. Brought the pictures for proof.
Right.
To say that what he is contending is not true.
Right.
Ready for the big reveal? The climax of the episode comes as the DNA test results are announced.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Edwards, you are the father.
Thank you. To our son, I want you to apologize to him.
Can you believe what just unfolded? Mr. Threlkeld steps into the courtroom with a bombshell, revealing his marriage is hanging by a thread. He shares that during his time overseas, his wife wasn't exactly playing the loyal homebody, but instead was out with other men. He's not even sure if he's the dad of their little one, Liliana, and has asked the court to step in with a paternity test. Just when you think it can't get more shocking, stick around.
You have entered this courtroom with a marriage on the brink of divorce. You state that while you were out of the country serving in the military, your wife waited around town with other men, and she has admitted to cheating multiple times. Are not sure if you are the father of her third child, 18-month-old Liliana.
This next part is absolutely wild. Mr. Threlkeld spills the beans about how he discovered his wife's side activities while he was deployed in Afghanistan. His buddy tipped him off, leading to a frantic online confrontation that got cut short by a base attack, plunging him into weeks of uncertainty. The drama ramps up from here, so don't go anywhere.
I was overseas in Afghanistan, and I was at up in the Northeast. A soldier of mine came up to me and tapped me on the boot and said, "Hey, I need to go outside. We need to talk right now." Earlier on in the day, him got into some words, so I thought we were gonna, settle it. Well, it turns out his wife and my wife were friends. She had found out that she was actually stripping as we spoke. I found out about it. I thought, it was all just a hoax. So I went, calmly to the got on Facebook and asked her, "Hey, is it true you're doing what I told you I didn't want you doing at all?"
You won't see this twist coming. During the court session, Ms. Threlkeld confesses to her escapades while Mr. Threlkeld was away. She attempts to justify her actions by claiming they had essentially called it quits. Mr. Threlkeld, however, isn't having any of it and highlights the strain and emotional turmoil her actions have caused. And just when you think you've heard it all, there's more to come.
Because you all had an argument about you stripping and you hung up.
We hung up and we said it was done because I wanted to do what I want to do.
Ma'am.
Let me explain.
Okay, now we're getting to the truth.
Okay.
You wanted to do what you wanted to do. You wanted
because
to strip.
we got married too young. Well, I needed to
She
because
wanted to be a hooker in training,
will
so
you
she'd
just
start
let
stripping?
me talk?
Well, no,
See, this
the
is
reason
what I
why
have
I'm
to deal
asking
with.
is because I really want to know.
He's always calling me.
Why-
Get ready for the showdown. In a heated moment, Mr. Threlkeld confronts his wife about her ongoing communications with other guys. He finds out she's been dialing up one number a bit too frequently and decides to confront the mystery man, confirming his worst fears. Brace yourself. The next part is a doozy.
So you're riding down the highway.
Yeah, she has her phone. I was wondering who saw the guy. She hadn't fully admitted that she's been seeing this guy. And as I was looking through it, there was a number that she'd called like 13 times. And he answers the phone, "Hey, I said, who is this? Are you the one that's my wife?" He said, yes, I've been. And now her defense, she starts laughing, saying, "Ha, I knew he was just going to say that. He's just saying that." And it was ridiculous. I mean, that was just the only
So
defense.
when he calls the guy on the phone, you deny it.
Yeah.
Things are about to get even spicier. Nearing the episode's climax, Mr. Threlkeld pushes for a lie detector test to clear the air of lingering doubts about his wife's loyalty. Their exchange reveals a slew of past deceptions, including a fling with a photographer that Ms. Threlkeld met during her cosmetology school days. You're not going to want to miss what's coming up next.
Asked your wife to take a lie detector test point. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. Before she came back, I said, "Look, obviously the path we're going down right now isn't a good one. Either it's a go or no go. My insecurities, I'd like you to take a lie detector test." She kept saying, "Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'll do it. No big deal."
Why don't
But
we
when
need
it
a lie
comes
detector
closer
test?
to, she starts, getting nervous. I could start telling from body language and tone of her voice, she was getting nervous.
We
She
don't need a
tells
lie
me straight
detector
out.
test, no
She tells me
reason.
straight out.
What happened?
She tells me straight out about the people that she actually cheated on me with.
You'll want to sit down for this one. The big moment arrives with the DNA test results.
Pertaining to 1-year-old Liliana, Mr. Threlkeld, you are Liliana's father.
Buckle up, folks. The case Martinez versus Hernandez kicks off with Judge Lake at the helm. Ms. Martinez spills the beans, claiming the defendant has flat out denied being the dad to their 2 kiddos, which has thrown her family into chaos. She's hoping a DNA test will not only reveal the truth, but also patch things up with her beau. Keep your eyes peeled because it's just heating up.
Ms. Martinez, you say your family is torn apart since the defendant has denied both of your children, 4-year-old Richard II and 3-year-old Renee. You have petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove the truth, that the results will save your relationship.
You're not ready for this curveball. Mr. Hernandez drops a truth bomb about his trust issues with Ms. Martinez and his hesitation to play dad without solid proof. He's also drowning in a sea of child support debt, over $6 grand deep, doubting he's even the father. Fasten your seatbelts. There's a storm brewing just ahead.
You say you were suckered into claiming the plaintiff's 2 children and can't trust anything she's said. You're currently behind more than $6,000 in child support used to kick care for either child until proven that you are their biological father.
Grab your popcorn, this is a doozy. Ms. Martinez details how the paternity mess is messing with her little ones, highlighting their nightly tears and confusion. Mr. Hernandez isn't buying it, standing his ground that he's been there from the start, despite his paternity doubts. But hold on to your popcorn. The courtroom is about to turn into a circus.
My kids suffer. I mean, every night when I put them to bed, they cry, ask. He doesn't call to check on them, to even get them on the phone, talk to them. Can I see how they're doing?
That's a lie, Your Honor. I try as much as I can, but it's hard to do that when I don't know if they're mine for sure.
But what I don't get is if he's denying them. Look around. You know, he keeps coming back. He's trying to be in their life. It's a problem he should have tried to figure out things a long time ago.
Can this get any spicier? Oh, yes, it can. Ms. Martinez let slip a bombshell about a one-off fling with Mr. Hernandez's buddy, sending shockwaves through the courtroom. This juicy tidbit could flip the entire case on its head. Don't blink now, because the aftermath is a spectacle you can't miss.
One incident he's talking about, Your Honor, it was a one-time thing. Me and his friend had messed around.
See?
So you stayed with her?
I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but I mean,
and
it's
he
been
can't
so long
say that
now.
because even prior to that, I was always told him I didn't want to be in a relationship. He forced him, please be with me. So every time I would have relations with other people, I would tell him.
She sleeps with me.
I would tell him and I would say, hey, you know, I did have sex with somebody the night. And he would just sit there and he'd be like, I still love you. That's on him. That's not me.
Strap in for this emotional roller coaster. As Mr. Hernandez recounts their rocky relationship and her recent scandalous confessions, the plot thickens with her sudden pregnancy announcement. He's in a whirlwind of doubt just weeks before she's due. The tension is palpable, and what comes next is nothing short of jaw-dropping.
We were still on and off, right? I called her and she's like, I'm with this person. And I was like, okay. Next day I talked to her, she's like, okay, yeah, I did have intercourse with this man. I forgave her. She finds out she's pregnant.
Is that you intimate with another man pregnant?
Yes, I did have intercourse with him 3 times and unprotected that night. I told him about it. He still wanted to be with me.
She lied about it.
Him that we did it protected. I did at the time.
Oh, the drama intensifies. In a pivotal moment, Ms. Martinez reveals that during her medical emergency, Mr. Hernandez was MIA, choosing his buddies over her crisis. She accuses him of heartless neglect while she was under the knife, an accusation he vehemently denies. Just when you think it's peaked, there's more drama around the corner.
2 girls at a bus stop
and I had time to go
smoked
home
with him while he's in my car while I'm about to have surgery.
Is that true, Mr. Hernandez?
No, Your Honor, that's a lie.
So it's not.
So you didn't show back up to the hospital in time. You got angry.
And I said, that's why you're not the father.
But once said that, Mr. Hernandez, then all your bells start ringing.
Yes.
Wait till you get a load of this. The court dives into the birth certificates, which Mr. Hernandez signed despite his swirling doubts. It seems he's caught between a rock and a hard place, wanting to believe he's the dad while also being pushed into a corner by Ms. Martinez. What happens next? The plot thickens, so stick around.
Why would you sign the birth
Because
certificate?
at the time...
And you signed the birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
For both of my kids that he denied.
Do you have any evidence that reflects?
Yes, I do,
this?
Your Honor.
I'd like to see it. Ron, will you please hand me
the birth certificate?
This is the birth certificate for Richard Anthony Hernandez II.
Yes.
Under father's name, Richard Anthony Hernandez.
Well, that, at the time was, Your Honor, because, and I loved them very much, and it didn't matter because I loved her that much.
The stakes are sky high now. The financial tug of war is laid bare as Mr. Hernandez confesses to lagging behind in child support, a whopping $6,000, while Ms. Martinez is hustling with multiple jobs to keep their ship afloat. The personal toll is enormous, and believe me, you'll want to see how this financial fiasco unfolds.
He has so many doubts, but when it's time for me to say, hey, you got paid on Friday, I need this
That's
for the
a lie,
kids. He doesn't do nothing.
Every time she
but
call
he
me,
sure
I
has
can
beer,
get it
he
for
sure
her.
has cigarettes, he sure has what he needs.
What I'm seeing with the both of you all know how to the other one's button and know how to manipulate the other one to get what you want. I mean, this is just painfully clear. Because you so consumed with doubt that you are downgrading and talking about children in their faith, but you still laid up with their mother.
Prepare to be floored. The episode reaches its climax with the DNA test results finally out.
It has been determined by this court. Hernandez, you are his father.